Well, hello, welcome to Manchester. It is filling up here. It is weigh-in day ahead of a huge night of championship boxing tomorrow at the Co-op Live on TNT Sports in the UK and Ireland and around the world on DAZN. It's special. It is Derek Chisora's final fight in the UK. He takes on Otto Wallin, and here to talk through the weigh-in process here today, you've got not just one, but you've got two delicious men on your screen. I'm delighted to have delicious Orie with me. How are you, sir?
I'm very well. You said I'm going to try my best to guide us through today, but no promises though.
Look, I think you're going to be great. You've come here looking the part. Let's address why you're here. You are a new Queensberry heavyweight. You're looking to unleash on this brilliant heavyweight division.
I am, and you know what? It's good for me to be here to see what it's like. I haven't really done a weigh-in where I can be behind the scenes and see what what it's about. Amateur boxing is different, So it's good for me to start to see what's happening, and when it's my turn, it gets a little bit easier then.
Oh, mate, listen, we can't wait for your turn. I can speak to you about all your plans for length, but let's talk about that man. Let's talk about Derek War Chisora. Listen, when I just say that name, what starts going through your head?
He's an interesting character, isn't he? Very interesting. You know what, we've had a few chats, and he's given me some real good advice. You know, from time to time, I'll bump into him randomly in places, and I think he will talk to me, about my career in the future, just making sure that I'm okay, looking after my family, myself, and his heart is in the right place. He's a very volatile man, but his heart is in the right place.
There's so many fighters, so many people who work within boxing who have these kinds of Derek Chisora stories where, to the public he's perceived as this wild, crazy guy. I think he's mellowed somewhat in these later years, and he is the fighter who's now going around putting the arm around the shoulder. I heard Fraser Clark talking about how when he suffered his loss, he kept getting missed calls from Derek Chisora. He's that kind of guy, Delicious.
Yeah, he is. Is he going to come down here afterwards?
I think so.
To be fair, I've got a bone to pick with him. I spoke to him about before. He has this thing called Delicious TV.
He does.
Am I right? I am right, because a few people said it to me. And come on, where did that come from?
He loves it. It's like he's doing it every press conference as well. Otto Wallin will say something, and Chisora will sit there and go, delicious. It's like his favourite word. So
weird.
It's great for you though. He's just going to keep plugging you.
We'll have a chat about that later on.
So hopefully we will get a chat with Derek Chisora after he weighs in. But it's not an easy task. So this last dance in the UK, he's got Otto Wallin. He's younger, he's bigger, he's fresher. Chisora has said that he hates southpaws. He ticks all these boxes of someone you kind of wouldn't really want to fight.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you've seen when Chisora boxed Usyk, again, an elusive southpaw, Tyson Fury, elusive. So it'll be interesting. We were talking before, though, has he got a dog in him? We'll have to wait and see. Yeah. We all know that Chisora's got a dog in him. So that plays a big factor. How bad do you want it? And Chisora just looks chilled. At the same time, you can see it in his eyes.
Yeah. He can just flick it like that. At the workout, he actually said to me, I'm kind of chilled at the moment. I haven't put my mask on yet. He said the mask will go on tomorrow, which was meant to be yesterday at the press conference, but that actually turned out to be quite a fun presser. He hadn't put it on yet. Maybe today.
Do you know what I'm noticing about the pros? You've got to be brutal. There's something there. You've got to be a savage. It's a bit different to the amateurs in the sense that it's point scoring, it's technical. Pros, you've got to have a bit of that Chisora in you, a bit of that Derek Chisora in you, where you've got to be a little bit brutal. And we'll see that tomorrow. I'm sure we will. Yeah,
I think so. I think we might even get a glimpse of it today. Although it is filling up here at the National Football Museum, I think there's going to be a tremendous ovation for Derek Chisora. The fans are turning out for him. And listen, he's been a British boxing treasure for so many years now. 2007, he made his debut. Like, how old were you at that point?
Oh, man, I was... 2007 he made his debut?
Yeah.
Wow. I was 10.
Yeah, and I don't even want to say, but you were 10 years old, and look, he spanned all these eras. He's fought like Klitschko, Hay, and then Fury 3 times, Usyk. He's fought everyone, Delicious.
He really has. He's been there, done that. And you know what? I've been seeing some of this media stuff. He looks chilled.
Yeah.
Like he looks like someone who's been there so many times, a true veteran. So, and I'm sure that'll play a part tomorrow. We'll see that.
Yeah.
And I think a relaxed, happy fire, as you know, is a dangerous one.
fight number 49 in his career. And listen, he says he wants to get to 50 fights. This is the last one in the UK. He's even talked about, Delicious, how before the first bell, he might be crying. There might be a tear in his eye. That final ring walk in the UK, how important is it he doesn't get lost in that moment?
Well, you know, I can't really speak for him because 49, that's something to really strive for. 49 fights, wow. I mean, I'm sure, again, because he's so experienced, I'm sure he'll relish the moment. He knows how to bring a good crowd together. So, yeah, it's going to be exciting. We'll see how it goes.
What's your favourite Derek Chisora moment from all these 18 years of him, when you started watching him when you were 10 years old? Or what's your favourite memory?
Man, I think I've got, you know what, there's a few popping in mind, but one that really, I've watched a few times actually, is how he is with other, you know, his opponents. For example, flipping that table.
Yeah.
That's, he tries to get you, doesn't he, psychologically? And I'm sure he has done it successfully with some of the certain opponents. So boxing, especially pro boxing, is very psychological, and he does that bit well.
There is a feeling that he may actually have done it well for this fight, for Otto Wallin. At the press conference yesterday, Otto Wallin didn't say an awful lot. We did a face-off, like a gloves are off type thing. Queensberry call it locked in. And Derek really dominated all of those exchanges. I don't know if you've seen it, but he was just inquiring about everything in Otto's life. Can we be friends after? He offered the handshake, and then when Otto went to shake it, he took his hand away and put his middle finger up.
That's the thing, and this is what I was talking about, him being the veteran, more experienced guy. I think he's just, honestly, he's just chilled. He's so relaxed because he's been there so many times, and that is what's going to make him dangerous tomorrow. So I know I've heard a few people say he's past his sell-by date, he's getting old now, and he just wants his last, you know, little fight. But no, like, he's relaxed, he's chilled, he's dangerous.
Yeah. Listen, and we found that out in the last fight. His last fight was against Joe Joyce, a real humdinger at the O2. I feel like you were there for that, or you must.
Oh, yeah, I was definitely watching.
That he said, Derek Chisora said that he died in that fight. It was such a hellacious fight where Joe Joyce is non-stop pressure, and actually Derek Chisora had to be the one on the back foot, but he managed to knock down Joe Joyce and win that. Big win for him.
Like we were saying, he's got that dog in him. And yeah, so, you know, if he was able to do that against Joe Joyce, then, you know, people have got the expectations to see what we can see tomorrow. Yeah,
100%. And all this talk about, you know, he doesn't like fighting southpaws. The last southpaw that he actually boxed was Alexander Usyk. It was a few years ago, but Alexander Usyk is on record saying that he gave him a very, very hard fight that night, put him under so much pressure. Alexander Usyk was still making his way as a heavyweight, moving up from cruiserweight. But if you've got Derek Chisora sitting on your chest, it's not an easy night.
Look, obviously Usyk, he's on a different level. You know, he's a 1 in a million, complete anomaly. But at the same time, Chisora didn't come to mess around, and it goes to show his mindset. Somebody who does not care what or who is in front of him. He just goes. But that's what we all love to see as fans. You know, even myself as a heavyweight who's going to be involved in his fights, we'll love to see that. Someone who can look at an opponent and say, I don't care how many medals you've won as an amateur, what you've achieved as a cruiserweight, I'm still coming for you. You know, and that's what brings an entertainment fight.